First contact fiasco. The grand command chamber of the Krexar Empire gleamed with polished obsidian. Massive view screens displayed the countless stars of their conquered territories. Around a circular table of rare metal sat 7 high commanders, their scaled skin reflecting the ambient blue light, 6-fingered hands resting on control panels. Admiral Vexorn stood before them, his uniform adorned with the emblems of 100 successful conquests. The silver scar across his face marked him as a survivor of the Rigel campaigns. "I've identified our next acquisition," Zorn announced, activating the central hologram. A small blue-green planet appeared, rotating slowly. Designation: Earth. Third planet of an unremarkable yellow star. Abundant resources, favorable atmosphere, and a dominant species that has yet to achieve meaningful space travel. Commander Trell, youngest of the Council, leaned forward. "What defenses do they possess?" "Primitive," Zorn said with a dismissive gesture. "Chemical propellants, limited nuclear capabilities, rudimentary electronics. They've barely left their own atmosphere. Their satellites are passive observation devices." High Commander Krull, the eldest, tapped a long claw against the table. "The planet appears to have a substantial population. Approximately 8 billion, Zorn confirmed, but they are divided into hundreds of competing territories. They spend more resources fighting each other than looking to the stars. They will be easily conquered." "What of the Galactic Council?" asked Commander Ixis. "They have protocols regarding first contact with developing worlds." Zorn's mouth twisted into what passed for a smile among his species. "The Council deliberates while we act. By the time they notice, Earth will already be ours. Their regulations are for the weak." "Then I see no reason to delay," said High Commander Krell. "Admiral Zorn, you will lead the acquisition fleet. 20 warships should be sufficient for a species at this development stage." Zorn bowed, his scar tissue stretching. "It will be done." Across the galaxy in a chamber of crystalline architecture, the monitoring division of the Galactic Council conducted its eternal vigilance. Beings from 100 worlds worked at stations designed to accommodate their diverse physiologies. Observer Lyra, a slender humanoid with luminescent skin, noticed an anomaly on her monitoring screen. "Director Fax," she called, "I'm detecting unauthorized fleet movements in Sector 9872. Director Fax, an ancient being whose body resembled a collection of translucent geometric shapes, hovered to her station. "Identify." "Krexar military signatures," Lyra reported, her fingers dancing across controls. 20 warships on a direct course to an uncontacted world. Planet designation: Earth. The Krexar have filed no first contact protocols. Fax's geometric components rearranged themselves, an indication of concern. Earth is protected under Directive 7. The native species is still developing. The Krexar fleet will reach Earth in approximately 72 hours, Lyra said. "Alert the Council chamber," Fax decided, "and prepare my observation vessel. I will personally monitor this situation." On Earth, at the Sierra Nevada Aerospace Defense Center, Dr. Maya Chen stared at her monitor with growing concern. The facility, hidden beneath a mountain, housed some of Earth's most advanced space monitoring equipment. "Colonel Barrett," she called, "I think you need to see this." Colonel James Barrett, U.S. Space Force, walked over. His weathered face showed the strain of 3 days with minimal sleep. "What have you got, Dr. Chen?" "These objects," she pointed to her screen where several dots moved in formation, "appeared at the edge of our detection range 18 hours ago. They're moving too fast and changing direction, too abruptly to be natural phenomena." Barrett leaned closer. "Could be a sensor malfunction." "I've run 3 diagnostic sequences," Chen replied. "The system is functioning perfectly. These objects are decelerating and maintaining a perfect formation. They'll reach Earth orbit in approximately 48 hours. Barrett's expression hardened. "How many?" 20 large objects, each approximately the size of an aircraft carrier. Barrett reached for a secure phone. "Get me the Joint Chiefs." Priority Alpha. Within hours, every major power on Earth had been notified. Emergency meetings convened at the United Nations, Pentagon, Kremlin, and Beijing's Central Military Commission. Space agencies worldwide trained their instruments on the approaching fleet. In New York City, life continued normally. Sarah Alvarez, a paramedic, started her morning shift unaware that history was about to change forever. She stopped at her usual coffee shop, where the TV showed news about unusual astronomical phenomena. "Probably just another meteor shower," said the barista, handing her a coffee. "Or aliens," Sarah joked as she paid. "If aliens were coming, they'd have shown up by now," the barista replied with a laugh. 48 hours later, Sarah's joke didn't seem funny anymore. The objects had entered Earth orbit, visible as bright points of light in the night sky. News channels worldwide broadcast continuous coverage. World leaders issued statements urging calm while militaries moved to high alert. On the bridge of the Crexar flagship Dominion, Admiral Zorn observed the blue planet. "Begin the standard acquisition procedure," he ordered. "Deploy scout ships to major population centers. Broadcast the surrender demand on all frequencies." Commander Vrel, his second-in-command, complied. Scout ships launching. Message broadcasting. 5 smaller vessels detached from the Crexar fleet and descended toward Earth's atmosphere. Simultaneously, every electronic device on the planet capable of receiving signals began broadcasting the same message. "People of Earth, your planet is now under the protection and control of the Crexar Empire. Your resources and territories are being appropriated for the greater glory of the Empire. Resistance is futile and will result in significant population reduction. Surrender your governing authorities within 6 hours or face the consequences." This message will repeat. In Washington, D.C., President Eleanor Montgomery addressed the nation from the Oval Office. "My fellow Americans, and indeed, all citizens of Earth, today we face an unprecedented situation. Visitors from another world have arrived with hostile intent. They demand our surrender. They will not receive it." She paused, her expression resolute. "I have been in continuous communication with world leaders. For the first time in human history, we stand truly united. The United Nations Security Council has unanimously authorized a global defense initiative. All military forces worldwide are now operating under unified command. To our uninvited visitors, we are a peaceful planet, but we will defend our home. We choose freedom over subjugation, courage over fear, unity over division. Humanity will not surrender." At the Sierra Nevada facility, Dr. Chen and Colonel Barrett worked frantically to analyze the alien technology. "Their communications operate on quantum principles," Chen reported. "But there's something familiar about the underlying mathematics. I think we can disrupt their systems using modified versions of our own quantum computing algorithms." Barrett nodded. "How long?" "Hours, not days," Chen replied. "But we'll need every quantum computer on the planet working in parallel." "You'll have them," Barrett promised, reaching for his phone. In New York, Sarah Alvarez was treating injured civilians after an alien scout ship had fired on the financial district. The sleek, metallic craft hovered above the skyscrapers, its weapon systems glowing with energy. Suddenly, U.S. Air Force jets screamed overhead, launching missiles at the alien vessel. Most were intercepted by energy shields, but one missile, fired from an unusual angle, struck a vulnerable point. The scout ship shuddered, then plummeted into the Hudson River. A cheer erupted from the crowds in the streets. Sarah felt a surge of pride. Humanity was fighting back. Similar scenes played out in other cities. In Moscow, Russian air defenses damaged another scout ship. In Beijing, a coordinated strike brought down a third. The Crexar had underestimated Earth's military capabilities. On the Dominion, Admiral Zorn received the reports with disbelief. "How is this possible? Their weapons are primitive. They're targeting our thermal exhaust ports," Commander Vrel explained. "Somehow they've identified our vulnerability." "Impossible." Zorn slammed his fist on the console. They cannot have analyzed our technology so quickly. Nevertheless, Admiral, we've lost 3 scout ships. In the Crystal Observation Vessel of the Galactic Council, Director Thax and Observer Lyra watched the unfolding events with fascination. Extraordinary, Thax commented, his geometric shapes pulsing with light. Most species at this development stage would surrender immediately when confronted with superior technology. The humans appear to be exceptionally adaptive, Lyra noted. Look at these communications we're intercepting. They've already identified weaknesses in Krexar shielding systems. In mere hours, Thax marveled. Their cognitive processing and global coordination exceed all predictions. Director, Lyra said urgently, the Krexar are preparing their main assault fleet. If they deploy their full weaponry, continue observation, Thax decided. The Council will convene shortly to determine intervention parameters. On Earth, humanity prepared for the next phase of the battle. Scientists around the world shared discoveries about the alien technology. Military forces pooled resources. Civilian volunteers organized support networks. For the first time in history, humans faced an external threat as a unified species. In the Sierra Nevada facility, Dr. Chen had a breakthrough. Their quantum communication uses a simplified block sphere representation. She explained to the global science team via video conference. We can generate counter frequencies that will disrupt their entire command network. How long to implement? Asked a physicist from CERN. We need to reprogram every major radio telescope on the planet, Chen replied. 6 hours if everyone works together. They'll be ready in 5, promised the director of the International Astronomical Union. As the sun set over the Atlantic, the Krexar launched their main assault. 15 massive warships descended toward Earth, weapons charged. Admiral Zorn had decided to make an example of this defiant planet. What he didn't know was that humanity was ready. Humanity unbound. Admiral Zorn stood on the command bridge of the Dominion, watching the main view screen as 15 Krexar warships descended toward Earth's atmosphere. His patience had run out. These primitives had dared to damage his scout ships. They would learn the price of defiance. Target major military installations and government centers, Zorn ordered. Simultaneous strikes to break their will. Commander Vrel hesitated. Admiral, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the planet's surface. They appear to be generating quantum interference patterns. Irrelevant, Zorn dismissed. No pre-spaceflight species could possibly affect our systems. Begin the attack. The warships moved into position, weapon systems glowing with accumulated energy. On Earth, billions of people watched the sky, knowing what was coming. At the Sierra Nevada facility, Dr. Maya Chen initiated the global countermeasure system. Every major radio telescope and satellite dish on the planet began broadcasting precisely calculated quantum frequencies, creating a disruptive interference pattern that matched the Krexar communication network. Broadcasting now, she announced to Colonel Barrett and the Joint Military Command. Effects should be immediate. On the Dominion, alarms suddenly blared. Screens flickered. Systems reported cascading failures. Admiral, Vrel called out, we're losing ship-to-ship communications. Command protocols are failing. Impossible, Zorn roared, but the evidence was before him. His carefully coordinated attack was dissolving into chaos as warships lost contact with each other and with the flagship. In orbit, the Krexar warships began firing erratically. Some weapons discharged into empty space. 2 ships, unable to coordinate, nearly collided. The precision military machine of the Empire was unraveling. Around the world, military forces seized the opportunity. Chinese anti-satellite missiles struck a disoriented Krexar vessel. European railguns, repurposed for space defense, damaged another. American experimental laser platforms targeted vulnerable points identified from the downed scout ships. 3 Krexar warships fell from the sky within minutes, crashing into uninhabited areas, oceans, and deserts. thanks to careful targeting by Earth's defenders. In London, Jamie Foster, a university physics student, had joined an emergency research team analyzing debris from a damaged alien vessel. "The material science is fascinating," he told his supervisor over the makeshift lab's noise. "Their hull uses a carbon-silicon matrix we've theorized but never constructed." "Can we reproduce it?" asked Dr. Okonkwo, the team leader. "Not quickly," Jamie admitted, "but we've identified its resonant frequency. If we generate acoustic waves at precisely 32.8 kilohertz, the material becomes brittle." Dr. Okonkwo immediately relayed this discovery to the Global Defense Network. Within hours, sound-based weapons were being deployed against the invaders. Admiral Zorn watched his invasion force disintegrate with growing rage and disbelief. 6 warships lost. Communications still disrupted. The remaining vessels were withdrawing to higher orbits to escape the humans' unexpected counterattacks. "This was supposed to be a simple acquisition," he snarled. "How are they doing this?" "Admiral," Vrel reported, "we're detecting a Galactic Council observation vessel nearby. They're witnessing our difficulty." Zorn felt cold dread mix with his anger. Council observation meant official scrutiny. His career, possibly his life, would be forfeit if he failed here. "Unless, prepare the world breaker," he ordered. "If we cannot have this planet, no one will." Vrel's scales paled. The world breaker is prohibited under Council conventions. Its use on inhabited worlds. "I am aware of the conventions, Commander," Zorn cut him off. "The choice is between breaking convention or returning to the Empire in disgrace. Which do you prefer?" On the Council observation vessel, Director Thax and Observer Lyra detected the power buildup with alarm. "They're activating a Class 10 prohibited weapon," Lyra reported. "Planetary destruction capability." Thax's geometric form pulsed with urgency. "This crosses the threshold for intervention. Alert the Council fleet. We must prevent this atrocity." But the Council fleet was hours away. Earth faced extinction in minutes. In New York, Sarah Alvarez had worked 36 hours straight, treating the injured from the initial attacks. She'd just finished stabilizing a child with a broken leg when the emergency broadcast system activated again. "Attention all citizens. Extreme danger alert. Alien vessel preparing unknown weapon of mass destruction. Seek underground shelter immediately." This is not a drill. Repeat. This is not a drill. Sarah helped move patients to the hospital's lowest levels. There was no panic, only determined efficiency. Humanity had been fighting for survival for days now. They wouldn't stop. At Sierra Nevada, Dr. Chen detected the energy buildup from the Dominion. "They're channeling massive power into some kind of coherent energy weapon," she told Colonel Barrett. "Our calculations suggest it could crack the planet's crust." Barrett's expression was grim. "Options. We've identified the emitter location," Chen replied. "If we can disrupt it before full discharge." "Every available weapon is ready," Barrett assured her. "Just give us the coordinates." Around the world, missile silos opened. Submarines surfaced to launch. Experimental weapons platforms powered up. Earth's combined military might prepare to focus on a single point in space. On the Dominion, the world breaker reached 80% charge. Admiral Zorn allowed himself a grim smile. Soon, this defiant planet would be reduced to rubble, an object lesson to the galaxy about the consequences of resisting the Krexar Empire. "World breaker at 90%, reported a technician. "Targeting planetary core." "Fire on my command," Zorn ordered. Suddenly, a new voice echoed through the bridge. It came from everywhere at once, broadcast on frequencies the Krexar had thought secure. "This is Dr. Maya Chen of Earth. We know what you're planning, Admiral Zorn. We've targeted your weapon emitter with every missile and energy weapon on our planet. Fire your world breaker, and you'll die with us. This is your only warning." Zorn hesitated. How did they know his name? How had they accessed Krexar military frequencies? It's a bluff, he decided. Continue charging. World breaker at 95%. The technician confirmed. On Earth, Colonel Barrett gave the order. All units, fire. Thousands of missiles launched simultaneously from every corner of the planet. Laser platforms discharged at full power. Railed guns accelerated projectiles to near-relativistic speeds. The combined firepower of humanity converged on the Dominion's world-breaker emitter. Observer Lyra watched in awe. Director, I've never seen such coordination from a pre-council species. Nor such courage, Fax agreed. They know they face extinction, yet they fight. The human counterattack struck the Dominion precisely as the world-breaker reached full charge. The emitter shattered under the onslaught, releasing its energy not in a controlled beam, but in a catastrophic feedback loop through the flagship's systems. The Dominion exploded in a blinding flash that temporarily outshone Earth's sun. The shockwave disabled 3 more Krexar vessels. On the remaining ships, chaos reigned. With their admiral dead and half their fleet destroyed, the Krexar officers argued over command. Some wanted to continue the fight. Others advocated immediate retreat. The decision was made for them when a massive Galactic Council enforcement vessel materialized near Earth orbit, dwarfing even the Krexar warships. Attention Krexar vessels, came the transmission on all frequencies. This is Enforcer Thalax of the Galactic Council. You are in violation of First Contact Protocols, Directive 7, and Weapons Convention 238. Stand down immediately or face obliteration. The remaining Krexar ships powered down their weapon systems. The invasion was over. 3 days later, Sarah Alvarez looked up from treating patients as a strange shimmer appeared in the hospital courtyard. A being composed of geometric shapes hovered there, surrounded by a delegation of humans from the United Nations. Director Thax had come to meet with Earth's leaders and ordinary citizens alike. News cameras broadcast worldwide as the alien addressed humanity. People of Earth, Thax's translated voice was gentle yet powerful. The Galactic Council extends its apologies for failing to prevent the Krexar incursion. Their actions violated our most sacred conventions regarding developing worlds. We have observed your response to this crisis with great interest. Never in the Council's history has a pre-spaceflight species demonstrated such adaptability, cooperation, and courage. You have earned something unprecedented, an invitation to send representatives to the Galactic Council, despite your early development stage. At Sierra Nevada, Dr. Chen and Colonel Barrett watched the broadcast together. What do you think this means for us? Barrett asked. Chen smiled. It means the universe is bigger than we imagined, more dangerous than we feared. And now, thanks to what we did together, more open to us than we ever hoped. Around the world, humans began to look up at the stars with new understanding. They were not alone in the universe. They had faced their first interstellar threat and survived, not through superior technology, but through cooperation, innovation, and unyielding determination. In the council chamber, Observer Lyra filed her final report on the Earth incident. In conclusion, despite their technological limitations, humans demonstrated exceptional qualities during the Krexar invasion. Their ability to rapidly analyze advanced technology, coordinate globally despite cultural differences, and face overwhelming odds with remarkable courage suggests they will become a significant presence in galactic affairs. The Council's decision to grant Earth accelerated membership status is unprecedented but justified. These humans, as they call themselves, have much to learn about the galaxy. But perhaps the galaxy has even more to learn from them. The report was sealed in the Council archives, marking the day when humanity proved itself to the stars.